If you're a handball player with shoulders, you are in the right place. If we watch a handball game, it's pretty evident that the shoulders are working hard in every shot that we hit, everything that we do on the court. What we're going to talk about in this video is how to build strength, control and stability through and around the shoulder using body weight, bands or kettlebells. And once again, I can't do all the talking and the demonstrating. So Frida is going to join us here again today. She is my star client, pupil.
Team Ireland.
Yeah, she's on Team Ireland. These bodyweight exercises are great for activation and building a good base of stability before we add resistance with the bands or weight, such as the kettlebell. So our first exercise is going to be an inchworm to a scapula push-up. We'll start from standing, do the hardest variation first. And this is going to work on shoulder stability as the weight goes through your shoulder, and then scapula activation as we do this push-up at the bottom, and then back to shoulder stability on the way back up. Next, we're going to go on to plank shoulder taps, which maybe is a personal favorite of mine because you can do it anywhere, but this is working on shoulder stability as well. And we'll notice that we want to keep the hips nice and steady, so we're engaging through the core. Then we're going on to a bear crawl, so we're making it slightly more dynamic, controlling our weight as it's moving and going through our shoulder.
Bye!
Here we have a prone swimmer, which does what it says on the tin. She is prone and she is going to swim. These ones are actually a lot trickier than they look, and we want to try to keep our arms up as much as we can, which you'll realise becomes a struggle. You're doing great, Frida.
Thank you.
And we'll finish our bodyweight exercises with our IYTs. You're basically making those shapes with your hands, just to be clear. Ow. And for reference, I'll typically include 2 to 3 of these exercises in my warm-up before handball games or training. Now we're going to add resistance with a resistance band. Does what it says on the tin, doesn't it? Bands are a great tool to use because they're easy to take with you. You can have them everywhere you go with you, in your handball bag to warm up. And while we're working with bands, they provide tension throughout the movement, meaning that if we're pressing up, there's tension, and when we're bringing it down, there's also tension through the band. Our first banded exercise, we're going to focus on shoulder mobility with banded dislocates. And with this, the heavier the band, the more resistance, the harder it's going to be. So if your hands are closer, that automatically makes this movement harder. But a key here is to keep your arms straight, so we're not letting them bend. Now we're going on to some banded pull-aparts, which is going to focus on the back of the shoulder and our scapula. We can think about pinching a pencil in between the back of our shoulder blades as we are pulling that band apart. Now we're going to do a banded straight arm hold, which is literally what we see here. We're working the front of the shoulder, and the goal is to resist that band pulling you down. Now we're going to find a tree or a pole, anything we can put the band around, and we're going to do a 90-90 with an overhead press. So essentially we're getting the arms at 90 degrees, and then pressing overhead, working through shoulder control. While we're at the tree, we might as well use it for something else. So we're going to do a crossover victory, and this is working the upper traps and overhead control. You'll notice that a lot of the movements in this entire video are working around the shoulder. So the scapula, the front of the shoulder, the back of the shoulder, the traps, and that's actually going to help protect the shoulder more. So by having strong muscles around, we then have strong muscles within. All right, now we're going to add some kettlebells, or it could be a dumbbell in many cases, and this is going to allow us to increase the load and target that dynamic control, which is going to be so important when we're actually playing a sport like handball. Now we're going to add a bit more load through the shoulder with our bottoms up kettlebell hold. 16 kilos is super impressive because the shoulder is working so hard to hold it in that position.
That was max effort.
I'd recommend maybe like an 8.
Yeah, go down.
Next, we're turning that into a bottoms up kettlebell carry, which makes it more dynamic and therefore harder to stabilize the hold. Pretty good. Yeah. Now we're going to do a kettlebell arm bar, and the key here is to get it straight overhead, arm as straight as possible, and then we're rolling over as far as feels comfortable for you. This is going to work shoulder stability and T-spine mobility. And a little tip is to keep your eye on that kettlebell to make it a little bit easier for you. Now, Frida's going to do a Turkish get-up, and this is working on shoulder control and endurance, because we're actually in this position for quite a while while we go from a lying down position to standing up.
Oh God. Put that away.
So making sure we're not doing this on a yoga mat will obviously be good.
Yeah.
And then we're going back down to the ground. So this movement is taking at least 10 to 15 seconds to do. Jesus.
Yeah.
And we'll finish with maybe our most straightforward movement. We're going to be in a half kneeling position and then pressing the kettlebell overhead. And this is one that's focusing on strength, as we'll be able to build it up comfortably over time. I'm sure we all know a couple of handball players, or maybe we are this handball player, who are constantly complaining about shoulder pain. But then when I ask them, what are you doing to take care of your shoulders, to build strength in your shoulders, I'm met with a blank stare. By including some of these exercises in our warm-up, in our strength sessions, we're going to limit the chances that we actually pick up annoying shoulder injuries, maybe even things we can actually keep playing through but it's bothering us. So by doing these exercises, we can continue to play handball. We can continue to drive through the ball with force, and we can continue to feel confident that we'll be able to do so.